Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Merlin here. In our next video in the short series relating to ongoing events on Dawn of Defiance, we've recently covered weapons, workstations. We've also covered things like what you do when you arrive at the Crossroads after your trip from the small island, and also itself the quests that got you off the small island. This particular video will be more about the shrines themselves. So whereas the last video was about the mastery quests, this is about the main focus of being on this island. It's the shrines. Now, what I forgot to mention last time is that we remembered that you come through the portal from the small island. There are two other portals. One is to the desert, which is this one, and one is to the dark forest. Now, if you look on the map, you will see that the desert one is down here, and the dark forest one is up here. You have to visit them first before they activate. So you have to go there before they activate. And each one requires 400 ambrosia, 200 softwood, 200 stone, and 50 animal bones. So very similar to get to the portal over here, but slightly more ambrosia. So hopefully as you go along, you've been able to gather your ambrosia to be able to do both of those. And it gets you to where you need. So for example, this one here is quite close to a shrine, which is useful because this is where it's going to start in a moment. So basically, what does the shrine quests do? So there are, as we said, 8 shrines related to 8 of the Greek gods. Each of those shrine quests have a different process of what you need to do. So I'm going to head over to one of the shrines just to kind of give you a starting point of what they look like. So give me a few moments and I shall be with you. Okay, so this is the Temple of Dionysus. I'm going to go through the list of them in a moment, but just to give you a viewpoint of what they look like. They are generally guarded by a Gorgon and usually 3 soldiers. In fact, the Gorgon's probably hiding around the corner as we speak at the moment. And regarding any process regarding your shrines, I would always recommend coming in from the back, from beyond. Some of them are obviously built into the rock, some of them are out in the open. But in any way, shape or form, it's probably best to come in on a blind side, use your glide ability, and sit on the top of the actual temple itself. The reason why I say that is that when you have to visit the shrines twice. The first time is to activate the quest. So when you get there, it says Labours of, in this case, Dionysus. And then once you've completed your task, you then come back to actually open the shrine doors. But you need to then get rid of the Gorgons. So if you're coming from the blind side just to access it to begin with, you don't then have to get involved taking on the Gorgon and the soldiers. If, however, then once you've done your quest, you can then take them on. If you are at the top looking down, as long as you've got, like, say, steel arrows, you can take the Gorgon out with 2 shots. Done. And then the others, again, just use your bow, take them out from a distance. Whether it's, and that's the best way that I've managed to deal with every single shrine. Is come in on the blind side to activate, come in on the blind side to deal with the defense when you're finished. So we're going to head back over to our home, and then I'm going to talk more about what happens next. Okay, so we're now looking down at home base. So we're going to go through the 8 shrines, which are Ares, Zeus, Athena, Apollo, Poseidon, Dionysus, Hera, and Hermes. Now, there is no right or wrong order in how you do these. It's entirely up to you. However, my opinion, there are 2 that you should do before any of the others, and then the other 6 do as you see fit. The reason why I mention this is in the previous video I talked about mastery tasks, specifically the combat one. And the 3rd combat task is killing 5 golems. Now there are several golems around the Ares temple. So there's a silver one, there's a clay one, and I think a stone one around there. There's also a stone golem or 2 in the pathway in the distance. So I'm looking straight at the pathway now from my house into the mountain range. There's also at least 1 in there, but they do obviously respawn. So the reason why I suggest doing Ares first is that once you've done Ares and you've then also got 5 golems as well in total, then that goes on to your combat mastery 4, which is your Gorgons. and Gorgons are at every shrine, and you only need 5 Gorgons to complete that task. So if you do Ares first, you'll obviously the Gorgon you do there. There's nothing you can do about it. It's done. You know, you'll have to kind of lose that one as far as the quest is concerned, because you cannot activate the new quest until you complete the old one and gain the reward back from the guy down the middle there. So that's why I suggest doing Ares first. Now Ares is located in the desert, not far away from the portal. So it may be, and this is again my way of doing this, I felt going through the desert was not a good idea, in the sense of the fact that it's sandstorms all the time. Going through the mountains is not a good idea because this has got a lot of Gorgons and bad guys in there. So what I did suggest to do is 2 ways. Either you come around here, the beach, come in, activate the portal, so you know you've got an easy escape, and then start with your Zeus, with your Ares one, or come down between the two and do the same thing again on that base. It doesn't matter which you do. I mean, I prefer the beach because it's easier for me. So from that point of view, then, if you come in, you activate the portal, you've got your ambrosia, you know your activity, you go back to the circle, then come back again. You can then go backwards and forwards and deal with this. So that would be Ares talk taken out. Deal with your golems, then take care of the shrine. 1 down. The next one I would suggest is Zeus. Zeus is here. And again, it's built into a rock. Whereas Ares is out in the open, this one is built into a rock. So again, you come in, I would suggest coming in the side here, come up over, use your glide, because you won't be able to go over the mountains otherwise. Come in behind it to activate it. And then obviously go back and do what you need to do and come back again. So the Zeus quest is shooting out purple lights. There are 20 you need to do, and there's about 3 batches of them in this area. Now this would be useful because the fact you've got gold here as well, so you could combine a visit to get some gold whilst also dealing with the purple lights. Once the purple lights are done, come back to the Zeus shrine, complete it. You'll get your first Gorgon in Combat Mastery 4 as well, and then you can move forward because you then get Thunderbolt Arrows recipe, which you can then start creating. So by this point, you then have more. Not only do you have more powerful arrows that you can utilize, you've taken care of what I believe 2 of the difficult ones straight away. The remaining 6, it does not matter which order you do them in. There is no right or wrong order. In fact, there isn't anyway, but I feel that those 2 are the ones that I would concentrate on. So let's concentrate on what we got. So Athena. Athena is here, north part of the Dark Forest. And you need 9 medallions. They're called Athena medallions. There are 3 camps. So when you visit around here, there are 3 camps. And again, you could do the same with the portal. Visit the Dark Forest. Come in from the top. You don't want to go through the middle. Come in from the top, run that way. Activate the portal. And then deal with what you need to deal with here. 3 soldiers per camp. And again, use your glide ability. Shoot from a distance. If you pick an isolated rock that they cannot climb, they will never get you. You just got to avoid their spears. So you get 9 medallions. Back in. That's Athena sorted out. Poseidon is this one. And it's pretty much the most simplest of them all. It's 20 seashells. Now the irony is, they're not on this island. They're here. On the island off the coast. So what I would suggest you do in this situation is take a whole load of softwood and some thatch and make thatch foundations, like you would if you were building a house, as a bridge all the way across. This bit's quite short. You can glide these 2. All the way across, pick up your seashells, deal with Poseidon. Hera is down here. And you need 10 pomegranates. That is literally all you need. And the pomegranate trees are here. So if you imagine the base here, it's literally due east. And on this road here, but towards the end, there is a whole load of pomegranate trees. Pomegranate trees are hardwood as well. You don't get any resin from them, but you will get a lot of hardwood. You just need the 10. That's Hera taken care of. So that leaves us with, I believe, Dionysus, Hermes, and Apollo. So Dionysus is literally the one we've just visited. So there's this one here. And what you need to do with this one is you need to use your alchemy station to craft, I would suggest, 6 ambrosia elixirs. On a start of a given day, this is my recommendation, you give yourself the potion, the first one. It's 10 minutes long. Just before it runs out, so don't let it run out, you top it up, and you do that all day and all night into the next morning. You don't go to sleep that night. You just literally go through the night as well. So every 10 minutes, or I would say every 8.5 to 9 minutes, make sure you top up. Come the following morning, it will tell you that you've done enough. You can then go and complete the Dionysus one. If you at any point break the chain with your ambrosia elixir, you will need to start again. So prepare the day that you're not just, I would suggest, if anything, prepare the elixirs and do some resource gathering. Gather wood, things like that in the area, gather stone, whatever you want to do. Just do a close to home day. But make sure that less than 10 minutes apart. So don't do it too soon, but do it, say, about 10 minutes, about 8 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes each. You'll go through every single one. You'll go through the night as well. And then that's Dionysus done. Apollo, you may remember in one of my earlier videos when you were getting off the island of arrival, I suggested that you complete the 3 braziers. There are 15 in total you need to do, each one requiring 20 to 25 ambrosia. So make sure you've got enough ambrosia to deal with all of it. I would again probably suggest carrying somewhere in the region of probably 400 to 500 ambrosia just to get yourself through. You won't need all that, but I think even if you've done these already and you've got 12 left, if it's 20 a piece, it's 240. Otherwise, it's 300. So maybe say 400 as a max, just to make sure that there isn't. The other 12 are dotted around. They won't appear on the map until you get close to them. But some of them are guarded, especially in here in the Smolocus Mountains. You will see gorgons in this area. So again, come in from a side angle or whatever the case may be. See if you can avoid them, unless you want to go gung ho and take them out. It's entirely up to you. But there are 3 here. So again, if you imagine that's Zeus, that's the old tree there. You've got one to the west. You've got another one here to the So I say east northeast sort of area, and then you've got one to the southeast. Once you've completed 3 in an area, it will say all braziers completed. That only relates to the dome that you're in. Okay, so if you did 2 here and 1 here, that doesn't count. In the desert, there are 3, as you can see here. You've got 1 just southeast of the temple. You've got 1 about halfway out. So again, if you're coming down the side or use the portal, you'll avoid the golems that are around here, because the golems respawn. Just quickly get in, get out. And the same again on here. Go on the top end, get in and get out. That's those 3 done. You have got 3 in the dark forest. As soon as you get in, right along the edge. So again, you could come to the portal, head down here. This one I believe is on a mountain top, possibly. Do that one, and that one's on the edge as well. You've got 1 right at the very top here. 1 here. And I think that's all of them. Oh no, 1 on the west coast here. Look. Now this one is hidden behind some rocks. So it's on the ground level, but it is hidden behind some... No, tell a lie, that's the Hermes shrine. This one actually is hidden on top of the rocks. That's right. So once you've done all those, head back over to Apollo, which is this one. And again, as you come down this road, you'll see it. There's a pathway that takes you up, and that is fully guarded. Come in at an angle, come back in and take it from behind that way. The last one is the Hermes one. This is where it is. Now this is basically, you've got to visit Hermes statues. There are 10 of them. The first one is literally next door. So this is one of those occasions where you visit the shrine. You will have to take out the Gorgon and the men to then actually drop down to click on the shrine itself. And the reason why, this is why I'm here in this location, because here is one here. So literally you walk up to it, you press the E, I've done it already so I don't need it again, you press the E, and then that's done. And then what happens, you'll kind of go each one as you go around. Now like I said, there are 10, so we'll go around the map in order from Hermes Island, just to let you know where they all are. So we'll start here. That's the first one's around about here. The second one, they don't show on the map by the way. The second one is around, somewhere around this area here, so south the desert. The third one is somewhere in this area, near to this old tree. Again, remember, this is likely to be guarded by Gorgons. The fourth one is here. It's in this little nook and cranny around sort of area here. Actually, it's not on the beach. It is on grassland, but it is behind some rocks. But you can see we look for them. The fifth one, we're standing next to it, which is up on the mountaintop here, close to your base. The sixth one is where are we to? It's the near this end of the river. So I think it's around this area. It's either this side or that side, but it's definitely near this end of the river. The seventh one is literally not very far away from the portal. It is on a mountaintop, and it is literally not very far away from this portal. The eighth one is on the north coast, somewhere around here. The ninth one is actually on this island. So when you're doing your Poseidon seashells, pick up the shrine here as well. I think it's somewhere around about here. And the 10th one is at the end of this side of the river, on the east end of the river. I think it's this end. Once all 10 has gone, go back to the shrine, redo the shrine, and then that is all 8 of your shrines done. You go back to the guy in the middle. He recognises it's done. He'll then tell you of a doorway into the underworld, which I found out today, which is at the northwest of the island, which is here. But you can't get there yet because they've cut all this off because it's not unlocked yet. So I'd imagine the next part of the game will unlock this bit, and it'll allow you to get to here as well. Because if you try and go around here, there's a red line that stops you from doing that at this point. And that, as I come into the night time, is your shrine quests. Like I said, once you've done them all, there's nothing more you need to do. You literally are going to come down and he will say, well done. Now, is that the end of the game for now? It is for now, in a sense of the quests in that. However, it's not your end of your game, because this is a perfect time to make sure that you have everything in order for when you do move forward. So for example, like I've done, I've got ambrosia weapons, I've got ambrosia tools, and I've got ambrosia armor. As much as I can be. I've got the most powerful trident that I need to get in the game so far. So everything for me is ready. I'm making sure that all the ore I have is ready. I've kind of created a supply of arrows. I'm ready for arrows. So I've got a couple of hundred of steel arrows and 100 plus of thunderbolts, because these are, you need different things, you know, to construct, or sorry, craft thunderbolt arrows. There are items that you need, like I think it's darkwood resin and plume feathers and stuff like that. So you know, it's stuff that is not easy to achievable, but it's best just to build up. And then when you're satisfied with that, then yeah, put the game down and then come back to it when they decide to update it. Other than that, that is pretty much it as far as this video is concerned on shrines. My next video will be about the game review as a whole, see what I think about you know, certain areas of the game, could it be improved, which I hope I will look forward to seeing you there. Other than that, thank you for watching and enjoy the game.